The next lesson for comments in Python only has one challenge, so we'll go ahead and take care of that. It says, how should you not use comments? One, to provide function documentation. That seems like a pretty appropriate way to use comments. Let's probably set that one aside. To describe each line of code for future readers of your Python script. That sounds like maybe a good idea. We'll leave that in contention for now. To briefly explain why you made a particular algorithmic choice. That sounds like a great thing to document. There are a lot of different algorithms that accomplish the same thing. So maybe there is a particular reason that you used one specific algorithm in a specific situation. So that seems pretty plausible. And then lastly, to disambiguate a particularly dense line of code, right? This is a line of code that's difficult to read, has lots of variables, it's not very intuitive. And again, this seems like a pretty good candidate of where you might want to use a comment to describe your code. So to me, it seems like the least likely of these that you would want to follow is the second one, right? To describe each and every line of code for future readers of your Python script. We can go ahead and check that answer and see that that's true. Now, what you want to do as a computer programmer, especially when you're working in Python, which is a very easy to read language, is you want to make your code inherently readable, right? You want your readers or users to be able to read that code, have your code written in a way so it makes sense for other people. They say on average, for every line of code is written one time, but it's read about 5 times in its life. So it's really important to write your code in a way that makes it readable. But to actually just use a comment to describe each and every line of your code and describe what it does for future readers is just excessive, right? That's not the best way to use comments in Python. It is worth noting that you will see line-by-line comments in our materials here from time to time, and those are simply being used as an educational tool, right? That's not saying this is the best practice. We just want to make sure that you're able to understand the code in the examples. So we're leaving comments line by line. But in practice, when you're writing code, that's not a practice that you should do. Sometimes you might want to sketch out your logic in pseudocode that will end up being line for line. But once you've actually written the code in a way that's already inherently readable, then you can go ahead back and delete some of those comments that you gave yourself to work off of initially. So that's a little bit about comments and Python. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next lesson, which is all about printing.